Hi, I'm Genevieve Myers.
And I'm Jean Bromage.
And we are medical Reiki masters.
Yes, with the Raven Keys Medical Reiki.
Yes.
And we're really excited about this this upcoming event happening on October 20th. Create Ground, Reiki as an integrative approach to cancer. Dr. Sheldon Feldman from the Montefiore Cancer Care Center is going to be giving a keynote speech, as well as Raven Keys. But what's really special about the event is that we're going to be bringing together cancer patients and their loved ones and caregivers to talk and share about how Reiki can support them both during treatment as well as after treatment, and to offer a support system for them. And so I'm really excited to be organizing this event with you, Genevieve.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think it's really important. I mean, one of the main reasons why I wanted to help with this event and partner with Jean for this event is because I think it's important for the East and the West to work together, and I think it's important to educate people that this can be available to them during this time in their life, and during not even just cancer, but really any illness or any trauma that's happening to the body, if you're in the hospital, and also to educate doctors and let them know that we're here and that we're here to help them as well, and to help their work and help with the full well-being of the patient or the client.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The research that they're now doing on the effects, on the positive side effects of Reiki with the healing process, pain management, post-surgery. So, and then the other thing I've heard a lot of cancer patients talk about is oftentimes it's the after treatment's over, it's like the fire's been put out, and that's where like you said, the PTSD of their illness sets in, and it's like, well, where do I go now?
Right.
And then the fears and the anxieties that come up, that Reiki really helps to support them in managing that stress.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's always the fear that it's going to come back again, and so forth.
And how do they continue on living after going through something like that? And sort of giving, in some cases, it's like they're given a second chance.
Yes.
It's like they're given, and a lot of times I think there's a lot of fear in that, that Reiki healers can also help them to move forward in. But as we're here, maybe we should explain
what Reiki is. Yes, absolutely.
Explain what Reiki is.
Yes, yeah, because
not everybody knows, which is another reason why we're having this event.
Yeah, and so I like to explain it as far as a healing art goes, that it's hands-on or off the body. But what we're doing is awakening the flow of the energy in the person's physical, emotional, and energetic field. We're awakening that flow of energy to support their natural healing processes.
Right.
And so it's not so much about us giving them energy as much as being present in the flow of the energy for ourselves, to then awaken that flow for the other person. And through the hands-on touch, it helps to support that. And usually people feel warmth and tingling in the process, or they might feel coolness. They might just feel a shift as the energy runs through the meridians or through the chakra systems.
Sometimes people have, I've had some people that have sort of, not visions, but they go to a really beautiful place. They're just they're shown this, whether it's nature or their favorite place or something like that. And, and a lot of the time you might not feel anything during the session, but then after the session you either feel like you've taken the best nap of your life and you feel totally energetic, or you feel like you need to take a nap, and after and after you take that nap, you feel like so much lighter, and like something has been lifted from you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the first benefits that people receive from Reiki is the unwinding of the stress, which then I think allows the endocrine system to find its balance. And then from there, whatever other healing needs to take place is given that spaciousness that it needs. And I think that's why, in some ways, Reiki as a holistic healing art is so beneficial to cancer patients, because it smooths over their energy field to help recalibrate everything.
Yes.
Especially after a chemo treatment or a radiation treatment. I'll see my clients about 2 or 3 days after chemo, because that's usually when the side effects start to kick in. And then with radiation treatment, I found with a friend of mine, it was about doing a Reiki session just before his radiation that helped him then to be able to cope with the feeling so zapped energetically after.
Yeah. And a lot of the time it's when a person is first diagnosed. You know, I've worked with people who were just diagnosed and they don't know what treatment process they want to do yet.
Right.
And they're having a lot of anxiety about it, and they're really unsure, and you know, they're hearing from so many different people and places and things, and they don't know what they want to do yet.
Right.
So, you know, they've come to have a session just kind of to calm the waters a little bit, you know, to say, okay, this is how I want to move forward.
Right, to find that
journey.
clarity.
Yeah.
And then it also, I know from my perspective, when I was doing my Reiki Master training, you know, 2 friends, and then eventually my Reiki teacher herself developed cancer, were diagnosed. And for me, as a loved one, what Reiki did was it helped me to cope with my own fears and my own worries, my own sadness, and to really smooth that over, so that when I showed up for my friend, I went with her to the doctor's office, or we would get together and I would give her a Reiki session. I could just show up for her with whatever she needed, and I wasn't projecting my fears or trying to tell her, oh, you should do this, or, you know. And ultimately, my one friend, she made the decision to stop treatment. And it created a lot of sadness for me to know that she made that decision,
of course,
and to go into hospice care. But it was the best decision for her, and to be able to set my grief aside and to honor that and hold her in a sacred space as she made that difficult decision. It was so it's also great for the caregivers and the loved ones to be able to
create space.
Yeah,
to be able to create space and to be able to be going through your own process with everything on the side, so that you can, like you said, so that you can show up for that person, because they can tell, you know, they can, and then they get worried because, you know, they're worrying that they're projecting this onto you, or they're worrying that their illness is causing you stress and stuff like, and then they're not focused on their well-being.
Right. You know, I'm very passionate not only about giving treatment, but also teaching Reiki to cancer patients and their loved ones.
Yes.
So that in between treatments, they can have the tools at their hands every day. So if they're having a moment of extreme anxiety, or just needing to have that good cry, you know, that they've got the hands-on healing tools for self-care, the meditations and so forth, to help manage that stress. And because we can't always be there, you know, and so I think it's a balance of learning the self-care practices as well as just, you know, having that moment, that hour with a Reiki practitioner and receiving. So,
yeah, exactly. We're having 2 sessions with the event. We're having a morning session and we're having an afternoon session. The morning will be with Dr. Feldman and with the panel, the patient panel.
The patient panel,
And then the afternoon will be with Raven
and Lisa Wolfson.
And Lisa, and we'll we'll be having different exercises and meditations throughout the day as well.
Yes.
And you will be able to experience Reiki if you would like to.
And I'm looking forward to the discussion panel and hearing from the different patients. One of them, she discovered Reiki post-treatment. Another one she received, and then your client James.
Yes,
you worked with him.
Yeah, he received. I believe he received during, but he definitely received after.
After,
a lot, yeah.
And Maria took my Reiki 1 and 2 classes, and so it'll be great to hear how that's benefited her. I think it's about 1.5 years out since her last treatment, and how she's coping with the medications she has to take and so forth as well.
Right.
So in the morning, we're going to lead an energy activation exercise that's going to lead into a guided meditation. And the purpose of that is to help people to experience how they can tap into that healing energy for themselves. How they can set intention for how do they want to be in the world that day? How do they want to feel? What is the essence of the whole and healed self that we all have, no matter what's going on in our life?
Yeah.
There's this essence within us that is already healed. And so how can we bring the focus of that forward? And so I'm really looking forward to sharing that with the group.
I have a question for you. Why would you say that energy is important?
Yeah.
Because we're talking a lot about, Reiki is energy healing and all this energy healing and how energy healing helps with, emotional management, pain management, physical management, all that. But why is that important?
Yeah. Well, when we look at it scientifically, 99.9% of the universe is made up of energy. And so much of what we experience is just that tiny percentage of what we tangibly experience. And so when we combine consciousness with energy, we then begin to be able to direct it and bring forth and bring into focus the manifestation of our health, our well-being, our happiness, and attracting into our lives the things that we ultimately value the most and are aligned with our true nature.
Yeah, a lot of what happens in our bodies and what happens in our bodies and what happens in our minds is linked to how we are energetically and how what's flowing through our body and what thoughts we're giving ourselves and how we are being to ourselves.
Right. Are we being loving to ourselves?
Yeah.
And that's where the whole concept that Louise Hay introduced to the world back in the 80s during the AIDS crisis was how to affirm, your best self, your most loving self towards yourself.
Yeah.
And to make that mind-body connection. One of the slippery slopes around that is that, and I was at the Cancer Wellness Expo a couple weeks ago, and somebody did say, it's like, they wondered, well, did I create my cancer?
Yes.
And so there's that feeling of guilt that somehow you made yourself sick or manifested your illness. And I really like to say to people, no, it's not that your repressed anger caused your cancer.
Right.
But when you do make the mind-body connection and can work on the emotional level, then you can free up energetic space for the healing to take place. So it's not about guilting somebody or shaming somebody for their illness, but it's more about helping them to make the mind-body connection to create that spaciousness for the healing to take place.
And it's never too late to do that.
Yes.
It's never too late. You can start today.
Exactly, exactly. And to just bring into focus your most vibrant self.
Yeah.
Your beautiful self. It's not just about being healthy, it's about feeling good. It's about,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So. I think those go hand in hand. They help. help each other.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Great.
well, we hope to see you on.
We hope to see you on October 20th.
Yes.
And thank you so much.
Have a great day.